Hello, YouTube. Okay, I'm just gonna dive straight into the video because the topic, because I get off track and I need to not do that. Okay, I'm gonna talk about a pretty serious political topic now. First of all, I gotta get something about my background out of the way. I don't think I am necessarily libertarian, but I do think I think I'm very libertarian leaning. In the past, I used to be like a full on libertarian, just like could not, uh, like I would just always just want to just be proud to be a libertarian. I wanted to always call myself a libertarian because I think libertarianism seems kind of cool, so I always like labeling myself as a libertarian. Uh, I even went as far to call like a while ago when I was a young stupid kid in the middle of puberty. I would even I would call fellow libertarians brothers and sisters. Yeah, I think I took it to a pretty unhealthy extent. Yeah, like I don't think pretty unhealthy. Okay, I am libertarian leaning now. I've learned over time. Like I think my experience in life has taught me that it's okay to identify as a political ideology, but recently I've come to the conclusion about over the course of like a few months, I've came to the conclusion that you should not live exclusively by political ideology. I don't think so. Um, I don't think you should, because at times your ideology might be wrong. I know, so you kind of need to call out your own ideology when it's wrong. So I do disagree with libertarians on a few things, but I'm libertarian leaning. I am. I'm very libertarian leaning. I'm more likely to vote for a libertarian than possibly any other ideology, probably. So I'm very libertarian leaning. I'm probably about 70 or 80% libertarian. But okay, the topic at hand. I'm going to talk about Rand Paul. Now, there's a debate whether or not he's a libertarian or not, but like sometimes people call him a libertarian. He's like, actually, I am a constitutional conservative. Like he seems to not want to be called a libertarian. I have a theory why. Maybe it's just because he's afraid he'll lose the establishment. Okay, but anyways, I'm not. I like politics, but I'm by no means a expert. I wouldn't say. I'm probably an expert for someone my age, but in general, I'm probably not an expert. So I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm giving it anyway, but regardless, I'm gonna give advice to Rand Paul. I know his campaign's been doing worse and worse lately, like less money. He's been slowly but surely dropping in the polls. I know he's having money problems. I don't know much of the details, but I know his campaign's not going too good. So I'm going to give some advice to. Bless me. I'm going to give some advice to him. First of all, one thing I think he is not doing good at. I do think, like I know he's trying to appeal to both libertarians and the establishment Republicans. It's like he has one foot in the libertarian boat and another foot in the establishment boat. So he's like, yeah, one foot in the libertarian boat, one foot in the establishment boat, and just he's trying to appeal to both, when really I think he really should pick one or the other. Because now how he talks about foreign policy, he's like, he really does seem like he's trying to be more hawkish. Like he is preaching non-interventionist views. At the same time, though, he he's I don't know. He's trying to put kind of a neocon spin on it. Just watch his more recent foreign policy speeches and compare it to how he used to talk when he was running for Senate in 2012. In 2010, my bad. I'm sorry. Uh, and you notice a difference. Like you notice he seems more hawkish now. More like, yeah, we gotta bomb him, and which I forgot if he actually supports bombings or not. But I mean, just watch his more recent foreign policy speeches. Like you will notice a difference. Even though he is preaching non-interventionist views, he does put a neocon spin on it. And I think this is kind of a bad thing for him because I have a theory that he's actually losing supporters. Like some of his non-interventionist supporters, I even know some former Ron Paul supporters that are actually voting for Bernie Sanders because they don't trust Rand Paul on foreign policy. And I like Bernie Sanders in a way. Like, I disagree with quite a bit of his economic views, but I'm not going to go into that. But I like these are the reasons I like Bernie Sanders real quick in like 10 seconds. I think he's good on foreign policy, pretty good on the war on drugs, and he's anti-establishment, and he's honest. He's an honest, authentic guy. That can go a long ways. Even though I don't completely agree with him, I do give him applause for being honest. I think we need more of that in politics. And people tell me that it's impossible, but I mean, they say it was impossible that Martin Luther, the civil rights movement, would succeed as well, and look what happened. So we can get honest politicians. Don't let anyone tell you that's impossible. But Rand Paul, I really do think Rand Paul needs to quit trying to be something he's not. He's trying to appeal to the establishment. I have a feeling like he really is a hardcore libertarian underneath that mask. And I think he needs to just come out all out libertarian and get the grassroots supporters he's had early on around since he's been running for Senate. Yeah, he needs to tap into that grassroots that Donald Trump is stealing. Because I think a lot of Donald Trump supporters are actually former Rand Paul supporters. Because Rand Paul was like this anti-establishment candidate who tapped into the grassroots. And now Donald Trump's basically doing that. And I think Donald Trump, I do admire how he's different, and I do admire how he's calling out politicians for their corporations and all that and their special interest money. But I think his foreign policy is a disaster, and really, if I don't approve of a candidate's foreign policy, they lose my vote altogether. I don't care if I agree with them on every other issue. If I don't like their foreign policy, I'm not going to vote for them. I just can't bring myself to vote for a candidate who wants to be a war hawk. That's another thing about Rand Paul that really made me mad. Like, around the time, I think, when he first announced running, I believe, or around that time, early 2015, like after New Year's and whatnot, he proposed to increase the military budget. And I was just like, screw you, Rand Paul. I don't want to say that because overall I do like Rand Paul, but on that one thing he did made me real mad. He wants to increase the military budget, and I know why he's doing it. He is trying to appeal to the establishment. I don't know for sure, but I do. That is my theory, that he's trying to appeal to the establishment, trying to appeal to the big old muscular, yeah, we need to bomb everyone, like just idiots. I'm around these idiots all the time. I live in the South. I'm not saying everyone in the South's an idiot. I'm not. there are a lot of good people I know in the South, but that's what he's trying to appeal to. He's trying to appeal to the non-interventionists, and at the same time, he's trying to appeal to the war hawks, and it is really annoying. So basically, he can't even decide who he's trying to appeal to. I mean, at times like this, I really would, as much as I do like Rand Paul, at times like this, I really wish Ron Paul was running instead of Rand Paul. Ron Paul was an honest guy. He was, even on some of the issues, I kind of disagree with Ron Paul, and I do think he's an honest guy, and yeah, I think he's an honest guy, and his foreign policy is perfect, absolutely perfect. His economics make sense to some extent. I would say I agree with about 70% of libertarianism on economic policies. But Rand Paul, one thing I think he is doing recently that I think is a good idea in my opinion. I know it's Rand Paul is trying to take on Donald Trump. I think Rand Paul wants to be the one single guy to take down Donald Trump. I think that's actually a decent strategy. I just don't think he's been going about it well. I think there's one thing Rand Paul needs to do to smoke Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants to go back in Iraq. He wants boots on the ground. He basically wants to start another Iraq war. What Rand Paul needs to do, and out of all of the Republicans running right now, he is the perfect Republican to do this, out of considering the other Republicans. Call Donald Trump out. Rand Paul needs to just attack Donald Trump on his foreign policy. He needs to attack him on how he wants to start another Iraq war, how he wants to send young people like me, young people like your children and whatnot, wants to send them to die for corporate interest. Or the idea that we have to show everyone how strong we are. Just ridiculous stuff. That every fight's ours and just nonsense. But I really do think that Rand Paul needs to just go after Donald Trump on his Iraq policy. Go after Donald Trump that he wants to steal their oil, wants to bomb them, wants to start another Iraq war. Just start another one, which is ironic because Donald Trump, from all I can tell, was against the Iraq war, but now he wants to start another one. He's a hypocrite. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of America's foreign policy. I'm just sick and tired of it. It really does make me mad. But yeah, Rand Paul needs to just attack Donald Trump on foreign policy, even though he may get booed by some Republicans, even if he may lose some of the establishment vote. Be honest. Donald Trump is proposing something terrible, something I would dare say is an abomination, to start another war in Iraq for the sole purpose of getting oil for our own self-interest. He wants to do that kind of a abomination of an act, and it's just ridiculous. They're never going to learn that our intervention causes more conflict. They are never going to learn. If you say our intervention creates more conflict, they just say, you must hate America. I'm just tired of it. I'm just sick and tired of it all. And back to Rand Paul, I think he needs to advocate more for... I think he needs to come out and says he wants to legalize marijuana. I think he should leave it to the states, which I agree. I think drug laws should be left to the states, but I think he needs to be a bit more supportive of legalization instead of saying, like he actually said, I don't support legalization, but I support ending the federal laws and letting the states have the rights. But I still want it legalized in Kentucky. I think he needs to really say it should be legalized. So I'm going to leave it to the states, but I do think it should be legalized. He needs to do that. Like, just come all out instead of being kind of wishy-washy. Rand Paul's been very wishy-washy lately. That has been his main problem. Overall, I do like Rand Paul overall. I think he's been doing pretty decently appealing towards me because I kind of understand his motives and whatnot and his intentions. But I do think he just needs to. My computer did some crazy crap. I really do think Rand Paul just needs to just be more authentic and be more authentic and just stop trying to pander to the establishment and just he needs to fight for what he believes in, like his dad.